I always like to try different techniques in my collage work, and lately, because I've been teaching transparency in collage classes, I've been using a lot of transparencies. And today, I'd like to incorporate transparency again, and similar to the one that I did, I think it was fractured, where the focal point is the transparency. There's a challenge with that because I like using transparencies as peripheral imagery with collage. And I'd also like to keep this kind of small. I have a piece of watercolor paper here, which lends itself to all sorts of types of media. It's pretty tough. It can withstand a lot because it can hold moisture. And I'm also thinking of a green palette. She's my focal point. She is from, I think it was a ladies' home journal. And you can tell it's vintage. It's awesome. And again, staying with like a bluish, greenish palette. And I love the patina of this vintage image also. I think I know what I want to do. Maybe bring in some really strong color later. I'm still, as you could probably hear the hesitancy in my voice, still in that thinking mode. I'm also considering how about my background. I thought about doing something similar to other collages where I was playing with background, creating my own background. For example, I will show you, I think I can find it in here. I've been doing a lot of abstract drawing in my sketchbook that doesn't really have anything to do too much with collage. Here we go. This was this drawing, and I just played with that and created a collage of a drawing. So I was thinking of doing something like this, and this is actually quite challenging to do, and I enjoyed it, and I love how it came out. Do I want to do that for today's collage? I think when I thought about it, I was going to just go ahead and create the background first, and I don't think I want to do that. I think I need to work with the focal point first and consider the background later. Once your focal point is decided, you can grow from there. So let's get growing. This can happen with the transparency technique. I managed to bunch it up a little bit. And because we're dealing with collage, we're going to be dealing with layers. It may not be noticeable in the final piece, but nonetheless, I'm not thrilled that this happened. And the reason it happened is because I added an additional piece of tape upon the tape that was already there. I'm burnishing in with my scissors as we're waiting. And somehow it just got kind of crumpled, and I wish it didn't. And the reason I added that additional piece was because I wanted to make sure I got all of the model's image. It's just one of those things that happens. It's one of the hazards of being a collage artist. And unfortunately, this is the only image I have of this model, so I want to make sure that I get the whole image, and I don't want to ruin it because, again, it's hard to come by. This is from, I believe it was a ladies' home journal, the 1960s. I don't have too many of those around. Yeah, see, it's doing it here too. It's just got a crease going on. Now, this isn't the end by any means, and see, it's curling up already. This could actually add texture and interest to the collage. We'll see, because I just don't know, but I'm going to carry on. Just carry on and see what happens. That would be my suggestion. I've shared this before. I'm going to share it again because it's worth repeating. Don't let perfectionism ruin your good time with collage. It's just not worth it. I am a total perfectionist, but I've learned to let go of a lot of stuff. And I highly suggest, if you're feeling like you're a perfectionist, just carry on, finish. That's what I had learned to do, and this channel helped me. So we're just going to keep going. I'm going to do a little more burnishing, and then we are going to make our transparency. Vintage magazine paper I am finding to be the best for transparencies, although I get really good results with the more contemporary magazines. This one, it came out beautifully. So I'm pretty thrilled with it, even with our little creases going on. Either way, here's the back, here's the front. Here's the back, here's the front. So I am very pleased. You probably could see it better on white paper. So it doesn't matter which way we go with it. The adhesive is gone. It did its job. So I'm very happy with this. Go ahead and put this wax paper off to the side. What I want to do now is do that cutting for the negative space. The background's very interesting, but I just wanted to eliminate it from this because I want to create my own background. So I'm going to keep cutting and see how she turns out. I've often shared that collages begin with a general idea for me, and whenever I try to plot it out carefully, it falls apart. I wasn't necessarily plotting this out. I know I wanted to use this vintage image with the other vintage watch, and I was playing with other ideas. So this is actually pretty close to what I wanted to do. What was very cool was towards the end, as you can see, I used smaller pieces of the same green that I used for the bottom part of the female. I just kind of incorporated it within the piece. And you may have noticed that I did this drawing and I didn't use this side eventually. Not that because I didn't like it, but I just wanted to stay with something like the magazine. I didn't really want to have anything of my own hand in here. That being said, I'm really drawn, no pun intended, I'm really drawn to doing this kind of work now and incorporating it into my collage practice. So this was a really good practice for me because I realized this is done freehand, stream of consciousness, lots of fun for me, very soothing. And when I try to replicate it in a collage after I've done the stream of consciousness drawing, I just feel frustrated because it's not exactly what I thought it would be. And it's just something that I need to work at if that's what I want to do. But then I thought, if I do this with pen and ink, I can easily do it with paper and a pair of scissors or an X-Acto and just start cutting and putting the pieces together, which is what collage is all about. I'm not going to do anything with this, but, grabbing something I find pleasing and just building around it like this. It's almost primitive, childlike, but I want to diminish that. I feel like I'm onto something and I'm playing with something and I'm not sure what I'm going to come up with and if it's even going to be incorporated into my future work. I hope so, because I love challenging myself and I love giving myself something new to do. See, already that looks very, very interesting to me. So I'm not sure where we're going with this, but I believe cutting is drawing. I've mentioned that before. And this wasn't so much a drawing, but it sure was a lot of fun. And I really had a good time making the transparency. I am really grateful also that you spent your time with me. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.